Alright, so we're getting really close to the release of Outriders. It's getting very interesting by the day, kicking in with today's brand new released gameplay footage, introducing of course the Fire Witch, a legendary set that we actually saw before but never in action. Well, here is a brand new build that the Outriders team has teased us over on Twitter. We're gonna talk about that in just a little bit, and then later on we're gonna talk about a lot of other topics like post-launch content, DLCs, the lack of microtransactions, and why that's never gonna be a thing in this game. But before jumping in, I want to give a huge shout out to our today's sponsor, Conqueror's Blade. This is a free-to-play tactical MMO available on the PC, and it is set in a vast medieval open world where you have to create your very own warlord, build up and command armies, as well as raising up your very own empire. Recently, the game received another big update with the Season 7 release called Wolves of Ragnarok, which gives you access to a ton of new content and features. Just to name a few, you get access to 3 brand new units to recruit and control. These include the Shield Maidens, the Berserkers, and finally the Sons of Fenrir, each with their own unique skills and abilities. You also get access to a brand new 15 vs 15 siege map inspired by the Norse architecture and settlement. Then there's also the rune system that adds a ton of really awesome runes you can attach to your weapons and armor to further buff up your attributes. And finally, there's also a pretty awesome battle pass filled with tons of season exclusive rewards, including all of these cool armor sets that I really like, as they are also inspired by the Norse mythology. So definitely go ahead and check out the game. You can find all of the links down below, and if you do that right now, you will also get a free 7-day premium account that comes packed with a ton of really awesome goodies like a 30% boost to XP, a ton of bronze coins and honor, as well as more ways to get vault keys from the weekly quests. Again, all of the links in the description box down below. Now let's begin with the recent gameplay video, and of course this one that showcases the Lava Lich set. Introducing of course the Fire Witch. This is the name of the build, a devastating pyromancer nuke based build that relies on you weaving skills together to maximize its effectiveness. Ultimate loadout week has officially begun, running every day until March 26th, so it actually seems pretty exciting. I think that we're gonna see brand new legendary sets every single day up until the 26th, which in theory means at least one for each of the 4 classes in the game. So that sounds pretty awesome. Now this Lava Lich set is something that we did see before, but we never got any of its details like the set bonuses and the damage of it and all the other cool stuff on the gear and whatnot. Now do keep in mind that what you're seeing right here in this gameplay footage is actually a combination of 3 pieces of Lava Lich as well as 2 pieces of the Reforged, both of which are actually sets for the Pyromancer. So that's why in one of these early shots you can see that this build is utilizing the boots of the Reforged, which is from a different set, and this one increases the feed of flames damage by 50% and the thermal bomb damage by another 50% if you have the 3 set bonus, but in this case it doesn't. It only has one of the pieces equipped, so it's a mix and match of builds. But we do have the next ones for the build. One of them is the lower robe of the Lava Lich, and we can already see the set bonuses right here. Increases damage of eruption by 40% and decreases its cooldown by 10%. Now eruption is something that we didn't have access to in the demo yet, but it's a really awesome skill that you unlock around the level 22 in the full game, and it's gonna let you like cause this volcanic eruption. Like there's a small volcano that appears from the ground. It deals a ton of damage, it makes a ton of lava to spew from the ground, and it's gonna like affect quite a lot of enemies in the area. It's pretty much like an erupting volcano that you can summon at your will, so this increases the damage on that eruption as well as reducing its cooldown. But we can also see that this particular piece comes with quite a bit of anomaly power, which is perfect for that. Status power, because it also does a bit of interruption with that eruption, and then improved damage with the eruption increases explosion damage by 1600 right there. And there's also the size matter that increases your phaser beam, a different kind of ability that we can also see at various points in the video. But the next piece is going to be the Inferno Seed. We finally see how this weapon looks in action. I think we saw saw it in a leak previously, but this comes with the Wrath of Moloch, which makes your critical hits to cause an explosion, dealing pretty much high damage and inflicting burn onto enemies. And then there's also like the ultimate Bone Shrapnel that causes enemies to explode, and that Bone Shrapnel, as we've covered before, will deal AoE damage in a pretty large area. The next one is going to be like the charms of the Lava Lich, pretty awesome with the Etna, again buffs to Eruption. The skill can be activated one more time with this passive right here, which sounds insane. I cannot wait to test a build like this on a Pyromancer because it's probably gonna completely annihilate the battlefield. The next one is going to be, of course, the headpiece. It comes in with the frequent phaser, makes your phaser beam to reduce its skill cooldown by 50%. And then there's also the Magma Coat. Eruption increases the lava damage over time by 968, which sounds not that bad. I mean, it's not the worst out of them, it sounds pretty cool. And the last one is going to be the Upper Robe of the Lava Leech, which is going to make your overheat to have a 50% lower cooldown, and Giga Blast. Eruption increases the skill radius by 100%. Can you imagine two oversized volcanoes on the battlefield at the very same time with this build? Because I can, and it's gonna look glorious. Keep in mind that all of this is just an example build, and many other builds can be created with the same class. According to the disclaimer right here over on Twitter as a reply to the same post, this is just something that their team came up with and like to play with. You can create your own builds and modifications in order to personalize your Outriders experience. Now, on top of that, I do want to talk about a few other topics. One of them is the fact that people got a ton of issues with the connection and the matchmaking. So earlier today, the Outriders team came over on Twitter and said that we are aware that over the weekend players may have run into troubles connecting to one another in co-op. We are investigating this matter and hope to provide news soon. We are continuing to investigate this matter. Apologies for the impact it's having on your game in the demo. Now, another topic that I did want to cover, because I've seen this question quite a bit, it was also asked over on, well, Reddit. So one of these was in regards to changing the mark button in general inventory to a single quick tap of Y instead of clicking the right stick all the time, which is pretty bad on controllers. And yeah, single Y has no use in this scenario. So here is the answer. Now, unfortunately, we're not able to swap the mapping of buttons due to technical complexities. This is something that we've been looking at since our initial insider test in December, where we first received this feedback. However, the full game is intended to have a quality of life upgrade here that will make sure you won't need to break your thumbs or your R3 stick marking items over and over again. Of course, there's going to be more info on that according to the same post this very Thursday with a new dev update that they are compiling for then. So I cannot wait on Thursday to see what's gonna happen. It's very likely that by then or soon after that we're gonna get a brand new update for the demo, or if that won't happen, it's likely going to carry over for the full game, since that's not gonna be too far off. But with that out of the way, let's discuss about some other final topics, and that's gonna be all about the post-launch content. And we do have a couple of interviews right here, one of which is with the game's director and with the lead game designer on the subject of post-launch content. Because yes, we know that even though Outriders isn't a live service kind of game, it doesn't have microtransactions and all of that, it doesn't mean that if it fares well, it won't get some DLCs or some kind of post-launch content. So according to this Gaming Bolt article right here, the developers of Outriders said that any content they release for the game following its launch will be in response to fan feedback and things that players might want to play, and that rather than releasing things that should have been in the game at launch as post-release expansions, any and all DLCs will be purely additive. So you're gonna get the complete experience from the very beginning, and everything else that follows suit, if it happens, will be on top. So in general, our goal was to deliver the complete package for the release, and when talking about the things that may come later, it really depends on the players. So how they will react, if they will be interested, if we will build a huge player base. We have ideas, of course, but for now there's nothing we can promise and say. We are doing things that will come. So if people are interested, we have some ideas how to develop it, but it's more likely adding new elements than adding the things that are missing from the game that we have right now. Which actually sounds pretty interesting. That means that whatever we're getting next should keep the game fresh when it happens. Hopefully that's gonna be the case, because I really like the game. I really hope that it goes well, because I've been sick of playing really bad, kind of minimum viable product kind of RPGs in the past few years. I just want a great experience to have fun with and kind of lose myself into. Which also kind of brings us to that subject of microtransactions. This is one aspect that you don't need to worry about when it comes to Outriders. According to a different interview, we decided to go the old school approach, where we are just finishing the game and giving it to the players, not thinking about the microtransactions, game passes, and things like that. At some point it was easier for us to think about the game that way, just delivering the whole product. We believe players will like that proposal, that they're just buying something. Of course, it doesn't close for us the option that in the future to just add a battle pass or other similar content, but not like microtransactions. It would be more like the bigger components that can help those players who want to go deeper into our world to play in that world, end of quote. So yeah, pretty big news for Outriders. Cannot wait to see how the game is gonna fare when it launches. Kind of want to see how the reception goes with the reviews and whatnot. Keeping my hopes high, of course. If you enjoyed this at any point, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.